Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. This is episode 2, and we are slowly but surely approaching Survivor Series, which will be held at the end of the month, and you will see new champions crowned on that night. But before I kick off with Raw and Dean Ambrose's promo, I have to mention that the reason why this is an episode of Raw and not an episode of SmackDown, because until I figure out what I want to do with SmackDown, I will not be recording it. After I figure it out, then I will be. And you might say, but what are we going to miss? We're going to miss something. I'm just going to tell you, you're not really going to miss much, because I'm not going to do anything really important on SmackDown. I'm going to save that for Raw, and then once I figure out what I want to do with SmackDown, you guys will know. Other than that, I would like to say that I held the 10-man over the top rope challenge match, which is another term for a battle royal, on SmackDown, where the winner of that battle royal would become the new WWE Intercontinental Champion, and the winner of the battle royal was The Miz. And now you might ask, why would The Miz win the battle royal? I'll mention it later in the show. For right now, let's get to the first segment, which is Dean Ambrose calling out Randy Orton. And though no, Randy, Seth, and John Cena all did not come out at one time, Randy came out first, but Seth wasn't too far behind, and then Cena came out to even the odds. And now everybody thinks, oh, it's a tag team match. No, actually, ignore that. The director of operations comes out and makes it two separate singles matches. Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins versus John Cena. Both scheduled for later tonight. But we kick it off with our first match of the show tonight. Luke Harper against the real deal Titus ONeil. And yes, you might ask, well, where's Darren Young? Darren Young, if you remember, Darren Young suffered a serious injury late last year and was injured until, I want to say, the early part of the spring, when he came back and we saw Titus and Darren Young team up against the Ascension, and then later on, or even, it's even possible that he came back earlier in the year, I don't really remember. But we saw it was a feud between them and the Ascension, and then the primetime players jumped into contention for the tag team titles against the New Day. But either way, Titus ONeil victorious against Luke Harper, and then we jump backstage with the Usos. Are really just hanging out talking, and then from out of nowhere, guess who walks up? It's Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. And then they start talking about the tournament to crown the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn announce that they are in the tournament, and the Usos say, hey, we beat you once, we could beat you again. Referencing the fact that it was the Usos who defeated Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg in their last reign when they last held the tag team titles, actually in the early part of this year, I'm pretty sure. Now we move back into Triple H and Stephanie's office, where we see Triple H on the phone with who sounds like Mr. McMahon, and Triple H says, Vince, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it, you stay back in Stanford, stay back at HQ, I'll handle it tonight. Most people think they know what he's talking about, but they don't know for sure. And then Stephanie walks into the room And Erick, was that my dad? Yeah, he wanted to come tonight to take care of. And what did you do? I said I would handle it. Good luck, Connor. Now we move to the, I do believe, only tag team tournament match tonight. Los Matadores against the New Age Outlaws. And the New Age Outlaws are victorious, which means the New Age Outlaws move into second place, tied with the Dust Brothers with 2 points in the tournament, as we are now 2 weeks away from Survivor Series, and the New Day leads the field with 4 after winning both on Raw and on SmackDown in a 3-way tag team match against the Usos and the Dust Brothers. The Outlaws, on their high horse, actually taunt the New Day, saying that they want to face the New Day next, and they will be the team that sticks the New Day with their first loss. New Day comes onto the stage, but Xavier Woods stops Kofi Kingston and Big E from making their way to the ring, even with consistent provoking from the beginning of the Road Dogg. Now we move on to the next. Well, I'm taunting at it. No, not provoking. Now we move on to the next segment with Justin Gabriel against Ryback, and Ryback is victorious, netting Ryback a win in what is actually one of his first appearances in this season. Now we move backstage with Renee Young, who's standing by with Lana, and Lana says, "Mark Henry, you and all other Americans are no match for Rusev. The only reason why you won, that you even got your hand raised last week, was because Rusev wasn't willing to participate in this downright travesty of a tournament to crown a champion for a title, a new champion, when the original champion never won. That is the only way you Americans could have gotten the title off my Rusev, but tonight is when Rusev gets the title back. And Mark, you will be like everybody else. You will fall." Now we move back into the ring as AJ's theme song hits. She steps down the ring and cuts a promo very similar to the pipe bomb she cut, or the pipe bomb promo she did about the Divas division. I can't remember when she did it, but it was either last year or the year before that. But it was soon after, I do believe soon after, Total Divas began, as she was the champion. But she's not the champion now, but she basically says that sooner or later she will get her title. But AJ is victorious against Emma, and then after saying in her previous promo that she is the best wrestler in WWE, the best female wrestler in WWE, that brings out Paige and Natalya for a little back and forth trading of words in the ring of both divas, or both women who believe that that's not the case, that they are the best wrestlers, the best female wrestlers in WWE. And I know some of you might be saying, no, NXT. Well, NXT and WWE are supposed to be 2 separate brands, so the people done in NXT don't count because they're separate from the people in WWE. Now we move. I know I didn't mention it at all previously, but obviously this segment takes place after a commercial break, as Dolph comes out to do color commentary for the next. And here's when I mentioned why I made the Miz win the Intercontinental title. Because Miz can naturally make people hate. Miz is good at getting people to hate him. And though, Miz has been champion before, he's done nothing for the belt, I think that the reason why he did nothing for the title is because he had very little direction and wasn't treated as a champion. But I am going to treat him as a champion, and also this is when he references a certain stunt double, saying, since I returned, I was treated like a C-level celebrity and a joke by everyone because they valued my stunt double more than they valued me. So I fired my stunt double, got serious, and look what I won. The Intercontinental title. as he holds it up. I am going to prove right now that I am the most must-see WWE champion. Not Intercontinental Champion, not the World Champion, not United States Champion, champion in general in this company's history. His match was against Zack Ryder. Miz won. Dolph was on commentary, and as you can see, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz is going to be a slowly developing feud over the next couple of weeks, as Dolph, the former champion, faces Miz, the new champion. Now we move back to the backstage area, back into the authority's office, where Seth Rollins is complaining to Stephanie and Triple H about the fact that he has to face John Cena tonight, when Kane should be looking out for his best interest rather than the best interests of those idiots in the crowd. Triple H and Stephanie both say they have a lot on their plate and can't deal with menial problems like that. Kane made the match, he's the director of operations, so the match stands. Deal with it, Seth. Now we move to the interview position with Renee Young and Mark Henry. This interview has to do with what winning the United States title would mean to Mark Henry. But we move to the next segment, which sees Rusev, Mark Henry for the Intercontinental title, and Rusev is victorious to win back the title that Lana so accurately pointed out that he never lost. Now you might be wondering, now let me put it this way. If you know why Rusev lost the belt, if you know why I made Rusev retain the title, post a comment in the comment section below. But if you don't, I'll tell you. Rusev won the title back because of what the future holds for Rusev. Look who interfered. That's all I'm going to say. And now we move to the next segment with the announcers, Michael Cole and JBL, and Booker T, talking about what we saw last week with Ric Flair tearfully offering his managerial services to Joe Hennig, and they talk about what that could mean for Joe Hennig's career. And now we move to a video package showing Ric Flair training Joe Hennig and getting him prepared for being the client of the Nature Boy. Of course, what would Raw be, or what would a WWE broadcast be, without at least one Divas match? And that is why Naomi faced Layla. Well, I forgot about Emma and AJ. Well, either way, two Divas matches, eating a little bit of lunch. Two Divas matches are better than one. Now we move to the big segment on the show. Triple H says, I know you're here, Brock, so why don't you get down here? Why don't you come down here and let's just get this over with? Of course, Brock never backs down from a fight, but Paul Heyman is out, and Paul Heyman does most of the talking. Triple H asks for the first question Triple H asks is, where's the WWE title? And Paul says, Hunter, I told your father-in-law last week that once Brock Lesnar won the WWE title, it wasn't your title anymore. The title belongs to Brock Lesnar and not WWE. So if you want Brock Lesnar's title, you have to take it from him. And then as you can see in his picture, that's sort of the smile that Paulie puts forth after that little back and forth. Now let me explain this for a sec. Hunter makes a wise comment saying something to the effect of, you do realize, Paul, no matter what you believe, that title is not the property of Brock Lesnar, and maybe, just maybe, Brock should think about giving back that title, because he might think he owns the title, but we still own him. And I know he don't mind spending all his time hunting, but when he loses a big fat check we pay him every month, the big fat check we pay him in the contract that we signed him to, What is he gonna do? Go back to MMA and get his ass kicked again? That pisses off Brock Lesnar enough where he runs into the ring, where he gets into the ring, but Paul Heyman stops him before he attacks Hunter. And out of nowhere, you hear Randy Orton's theme song comes up. Randy Orton's theme song comes on, and the Legend Killer runs out to the ring, and then out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar just turns around and leaves, slides out of the ring as Randy Orton enters it, and then Randy and Brock have what many would call one of the most tense, heated confrontations that has been seen in WWE in a long time. Because one match nobody ever thought they'd see is Randy versus Brock. But the seeds are planted and the possibility is there. Now we move to the next match, which is Dolph Ziggler versus Erick Rowan. And Dolph is victorious against Erick Rowan with the zigzag. Now we move to the next segment, which is John Cena getting interviewed by Renee Young. And Renee asks John about Brock Lesnar and the idea that every title in WWE was vacant, thanks to a new investor coming into WWE. I have a long history with Brock Lesnar, so me facing Brock would be nothing different. But this new investor brings uncertainty and maybe a little bit of intrigue into this company that we haven't seen in a very long time. But I will say this. Nobody can... I will say this, that I'm John Cena, and the future still has to go through me. And now we move to the next match, which is John Cena versus Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is victorious after distraction from Kane. Now mind you, Seth Rollins is not in the #1 contender tournament for the WWE title. John Cena still is, Kane still is. Seth Rollins lost his match last week to the Big Show. Big Show lost his match to Randy Orton, so Randy Orton is still in, Big Show is not. Cena is, Kane is, Randy Orton is, and Dean Ambrose is. But Kane wanted to soften up John Cena, so he helped Seth Rollins. And now a mysterious video pops up on screen with Bray hyping the return of Bray Wyatt. And speaking of Randy Orton, you want to talk about a very intriguing night for the Viper. A win for the Viper against Dean Ambrose, and a heated confrontation earlier in the show with Brock Lesnar. The future seems quite intriguing for the Viper. Once again, we increased in popularity in 19 regions, lost popularity in 16 regions, so that means we gained popularity in 3 regions. If anybody knows the game, if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comment section. If I'm right, well, also please tell me, because I would like to know. If you enjoyed the show, leave a comment in the comment section below what you enjoyed most about the show. And even tell me what you enjoyed the least, or what you didn't like, what you didn't like about the show. And other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff, for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time, later.